So you know that off-ice training is a key ingredient to every goalie's on-ice success. But there are actually times when you can develop bad habits through your off-ice training that really hold you back once you get on the ice and cost you goals against. So that's what I'm going to go over today. 4 ways that off-ice training can actually hurt your on-ice performance.
Wow, what a shocker!
GoalieTrainingPro.com, and today I'm going to show you 4 bad habits that you can develop through your off-ice training, even if you're working on the right kind of program. So if you're serious about being the very best that you can be on the ice, now would probably be a good time to subscribe to this channel if you're just new here. Howdy. But I'm going to go over these habits, these bad habits that you can develop that really hold you back on the ice, that cost you goals against. You know, whether you're training on your own or even if you're training with a personal trainer or a strength coach who just doesn't quite understand goaltending. So now you'll know exactly what to look out for. Let's start with number 1. I think the number 1 bad habit that goalies develop with their off-ice training is actually a really bad habit that you have when you are on the ice as well, and you don't even realize that you do it. It's side bending away from the direction you're trying to go. So when you're doing a lateral hop, what you'll see is as the goalie drives off of this leg, they'll side bend that way a little bit. And I see the exact same thing on the ice too. You're at this post, you push to go across, but there's that little side flexion as you go. So our off-ice training is really a great opportunity to practice and to be aware and get those deliberate reps of keeping our shoulders level. Anytime you're doing a lateral push exercise, it might be, you know, a lateral lunge in the gym. Think about lightly bracing with your abdominals so that you're not getting this side to side. Because when I push with my leg and I have a little side bend, this is what's called an energy leak. So I'm using leg energy just to side bend my torso, and that isn't really helping me in any way stop the puck. And really, if I'm going this way, it's probably because there's a shot that could come from this side or a scoring chance that's developing. I don't want to be leaning away from where I think the puck's coming from. I want to get there nice and square. So I see it all the time. Ladder drills, people getting side to side, lateral hopping drills, anything when you're moving in the frontal plane. So think about keeping those shoulders nice and level. If your goalie coach has you on the ice holding a medicine ball, make sure those shoulders are staying nice and level. Otherwise, you're just teaching yourself, reinforcing bad habits that are going to cost you goals against. Let's look at number 2. The number 2 bad habit is it steals power from you, and it also increases stress and strain on your kneecap, and in particular those of you who are vulnerable to what's called patellofemoral pain, which sounds really bad. It just means you get, you know, knee discomfort underneath the kneecap, but this contributes to it. Anytime you're balancing, sometimes that falls in, you counterbalance. So now my knee in, my shoulder out, so I've got a little bit of that side lean that we talked about. This is a really inefficient position for me to push to generate. I can't generate maximum power from this, you know, from this position. It's just biomechanically really inefficient. So you want to be aware that you are in single leg balance, that your hip, knee, and ankle are making a line. And that line isn't necessarily going to be straight up and down because I have to shift my hips a little bit to get my center of mass over my base of support. So it'll be a little bit of an angle like you can see mine is right now, but it will definitely not be this one. So be aware of that. And anytime, you know, if you're doing same thing, your plyometrics or lateral hop and stick, make sure you're finding that perfect alignment so that anytime you need to move, you're in a position to generate maximum power or as much power as you need. Number 3 is developing the habit of preloading. Now, sometimes when we do plyometrics, we want to capitalize on what's called our stretch shortening reflex, and so we have to preload the movement to get that reflex activated. But when we're doing goalie specific movements and when you're on the ice, you definitely don't want to preload. So what is preload? Well, preload is, you know, if I'm here and I'm going to push off this leg to move across, well, I don't want to, you know, sort of have to bend that leg first, bend it and then go. I want to be able to be from here and then push right across to the position I need to be in. I want to, if I'm in my butterfly, you know, I don't want to have to kind of throw myself, and not throw myself, but just give a little movement here to come across. I want to be able to generate that power right from my hip so that everything is moving away. That's what I mean by preload. So make sure in your off-ice training that you have some drills that are developing leg power that don't include a preload, that don't capitalize on that stretch reflex, because that takes time and you don't have an extra split second to, you know, get loaded and go. You need to already move to get in front of that puck. That kind of reminds me of a time Paul and I were in France and we went to a market and we wanted to order some sausages, and these were really long, I can't remember what they're called. Anyway, they're long skinny sausages, and the guy behind the stall was like, how many? And I said, 4. And then he looked at my fingers, because I have pretty long fingers, and he was like, oh, 4. And then he said that my fingers were like the sausages because they were long and skinny. And there were these two like high school girls working the stall too, and they were howling. Like they could not have been laughing more. It was kind of funny. Anyway, number 4 is not having to do with sausages or fingers. It has to do with counter rotation. And counter rotation goes hand in hand with preload, or it's similar to preload, but in a different orientation. You are likely not even aware that you do this. It happens so fast on the ice, but you will do a little So even if you're leading with your hands, you'll often start with a little movement this way, and then your hands go. And it's really hard to do, actually. It's hard not to do. So it seems very natural to do that, but what you want to do is boom, just get that and lead and go. We do the same thing when we're standing. I think it is important to think about, hey, where would my glove and blocker be? Because you see people doing lateral, got going. Well, that is counter rotation, which is great if we're going to do like a single leg lateral hop for distance. If you're a goalie and you're trying to train lateral power, lateral leg power, you can't be training that system because you simply can't use it on the ice. You really don't want to be using it on the ice. Again, you don't want to be making yourself smaller by turning your upper body a little bit sideways. You need to stay nice and tall. So when we talk about it in those terms, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? You know what else makes a lot of sense? You hitting the like button right now. Thank you. It basically boils down to this. You can practice good habits or you can practice bad habits. And you can do that on the ice or off the ice. Your body is just going to absorb what you have it do the most. So whether it's proper or improper, your body's just going to learn what's most prevalent. I love it when goalies tell me that, you know, their goalie coaches say, oh, I can really tell you've been working on your stability or your core strength or whatever, because that's the purpose of off-ice training. The purpose of off-ice training is to fill your toolbox with the tools you need to do exactly what your goalie coach wants you to do. If building your on-ice toolbox for greater success sounds good, then head over to shutoutacademy.com for brand new stability, strength, speed, stamina, hand-eye, everything you need, all mapped out exactly for you what to do with tutorial videos. Let me know in the comments below if you've noticed a dramatic improvement on the ice once you started thinking about some of these things off the ice and really thinking, hey, what would my body position be, or what do I need to do better on the ice? Just leave a comment, let me know if you've had that experience too. Otherwise, I will catch you in the next video. This is Maria from goalietrainingpro.com.